Hello and welcome. In this video, I just want to share with you a few websites that I've built, some of which I've built with website building platforms like Squarespace, and some of which I've built with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So this first one here is just-in.tech. This is one that I'm currently marking up to become my future business site. I do not have a business just yet, but I'm certainly in hopes to start one soon. This next one here is jactechknowledge-y. This is my web portfolio. This is one where I share all of my projects, my learning, my successes, my losses, and everything in between. This next one here is jac-terminal. This is kind of more of like a techie, nerd, minimalistic view of this first portfolio here. I just had a vision, wanted to kind of bring that to focus, and I was able to do so using HTML, CSS, and a lot of learning with JavaScript. In this last one here, this is local portal file server. I had to build a static site and serve it from a laptop at which I am using as a storage device. So this is kind of my local storage device, if you will, and this is just my GUI interface to interact with that storage device. So in the next video, I'll actually dive through each one of these sites a little bit more in depth to share their main goal, their purpose, and how we came about setting them up. All right, in this one, I'm going to walk through just-in.tech. This website I created for my business, which I don't have established just yet, but in hopes soon. So what I did to create this one is I researched a few tech support websites that were on the market. And what I found is a lot of those sites were cluttered and just difficult to navigate exactly what you were looking for. And this is kind of what I created in response to that. So we have at the top the home, about, services, contact, and FAQ tabs, the just-in.tech site logo, our marketing logo, and then a brief about us section. You can, of course, click the button to learn a little bit more. Services section here, so tech support, website solutions, tech services. Just a brief one-off. And of course, to get more insight, you can click this button here. And in this last section, we have a contact form. So our customer base can, of course, touch base with us. And I will say each of these photos, this one here, and these three here, these photos I did take and edit myself. I wanted to have personal photos, not stock photos that are reused. That was also something I saw across most of those sites. And we're just going to scroll back to the bottom. And at the bottom here in the footer, we do have the about, services, and FAQs, quick links to those pages as well. So we can select about, and we can see the about section and learn a little bit of how and why we started, as well access to the portfolios that I have. And we can also jump into the services section and get some more insight on our tech support, website solutions, and tech services offered. As well, a little note, even if you don't see the specific service listed, don't hesitate to contact us. And of course, a button for that. Or of course, you can select it here at the top. So we wanted it easily accessible from the actual home page or easily accessible from the menu. And of course, enter your information. And in this last section here, FAQs, I just wanted to think of some of the common questions that I would ask a business and things that I wished some of the sites had on their actual website. So that way you can provide that insight to the customer base without them actually having to reach out and ask. So I believe I'll walk through about 10, maybe 12 questions here. And that's pretty much it for this one. To return back home, I can click this icon, or of course, the home button here. Okay, in this one, we're going to walk through jactechknowledge-y. This is my web portfolio site. And in this one, I just wanted an outlet at which I could share all of my projects, my learning, references, and everything in between. So here at the top, we have the home, content, and we have each of these categories: weekend tech nerd projects, resources, troubleshooting, tech notes. In the videos, we have the walkthrough category, resource category, device repair, and then this is the full video library. JAC, this is just the about section and skills. And we'll go ahead and walk through the main page. So right here, we have the brief about us section. Of course, a button to learn more. Next, we have weekend tech nerd projects. So in this area, what I typically try to do is share any of the projects that I've worked on throughout a weekend or throughout multiple weekends. And I just kind of walk through a recap of what that project was and how we worked through it. In these walkthrough videos, they will follow in alignment with a lot of these resources right here. So in these particular videos, we're sharing a file server setup on Ubuntu. In this next section, we have web projects. And here we either share code-along projects or personal projects. So this first one is a personal project, jac-terminal. Then Omni Food Delivery, which is a code-along project. Then I believe a hotel site, which is also a code-along. And then this last one here is a banking site, which is also a code-along. So if we click, let's say, any one of these options here, it'll drop us into that live project, and we can view. And of course, we'll click out, go back. Then in the next section, we have resource guides. So here, these are kind of just reference guides that I created for myself. Comparing operating systems, transition from Windows 10 to 11, Windows 11 tips, command prompt, some Office tips, PowerShell, and of course, we have resource videos. As we can see, command prompt and PowerShell, so these kind of fall in alignment with these resources here. Next, we have troubleshooting guides. These guides, I just started creating like a series on any devices I started getting that were really troublesome and weren't like the quick and easy troubleshoot and repair. These are the actual concerns that stumped me for a little bit before I actually was able to resolve the issue. So I just kind of use CompTIA's troubleshooting methodology to work through these scenarios. And of course, we have some repair videos. These are on kind of like a time lapse, I believe 5x, where you'll see me, like tear down and repair a device. And in this last section, we have the skills. So just some course certificates of completing different courses and or projects. And at the bottom here, we have quick links to DataCamp, GitHub, LinkedIn, TryHackMe, and Codecademy. That way, if anyone wants to validate or verify any of these certificates or any of the above projects that I've built and or created. We're going to go ahead and go back to the top. And up here in the content category, you can click into any one of these categories and select into that particular project. As well for videos, we'll click into the library. And you can click into any one of these categories to get like a more focused view. And last but not least, we can click into the full view about section. I don't really feel like there's a need. We'll click into skills. And here, same thing, I just share all of the course certificates, project certificates, and so on. All right, that's pretty much it for this one. In this next one, we're going to walk through jac-terminal. This is my minimalistic portfolio. It very much mimics the full version web portfolio, but in a very techie, nerd, minimalistic view. So we have this split up in about 4 sections. In this top part here, we have the window of the terminal. Then we have the actual terminal here. We have our ASCII logo box here and our level up meter box here. Another small piece is our clear terminal button right here. And I'm going to go ahead and select that to show you what it would look like when we first arrive to the website. We get like a little boot up sequence and then a prompt to open up the home directory. It'll print out the site navigation.txt, which reads, to navigate this site, select a directory or folder name. To open and view contents, click the Clear Terminal button to return to this home screen. And thank you for stopping by. So we can see in the home directory, we do have an About Me, CV Skills, Projects, Resources, and a Web Portfolio. This is just a quick link back to this portfolio here. And we can click into CV Skills. We see it's changing directory. And then of course it took a look inside of that directory. It notices cv.txt, and then it does a nano cv.txt, which outputs the file for us. We can close this out, hit Clear Terminal to go back. It'll do that boot up sequence again. And the prompt. And this site overall was just something that I really wanted to create because, well, mainly I started to think, hey, I wonder if I could, and then turned into, well, I know how to use HTML and CSS. I know how to use a little bit of JavaScript, but turns out I needed a lot of bit of JavaScript to figure this one out. So it turned into a 1 weekend project, turned into a multiple 3-4 weekend project of learning JavaScript and implementing that JavaScript into this website. Which primarily this entire website is actually written in JavaScript. There's only small sections and containers that are built in HTML, heavily styled in CSS, but primarily built in JavaScript. So in the next one here, we can click into projects. And for instance, we can see macOS install. And what I'm going to do is go to this web portfolio. We'll scroll down to Weekend Tech Nerd Projects, and we can see macOS Clean Install and Device Sync. This is the full project overview. And then in Terminal, this is the minimal project overview. And that pretty much goes for any one of these here. And same thing for the Resources tab in the main homepage view. Last piece I want to show is just an Easter egg. So if you click the ASCII logo, let me check the volume real quick. Volume's up. Click the ASCII logo. We get the output of sudo rickrolled. Okay, never gonna give you up. I had to add that. I thought it was hilarious. And of course, that's pretty much it for this one. All right. This one is the local portal file server static site. And the way this one is set up is a static site that is running on a Lenovo laptop. It is being hosted and served from that device. And the purpose for that was so that way I could have a graphical interface to connect with that particular laptop, because that laptop is serving as my storage device, as you can see here. So the way this works is this static site is connected to that Lenovo laptop running on Ubuntu, and these columns of tabs, if you will, each of these tabs are connected to a folder path, which is connected to the physical storage on that Lenovo laptop. Therefore, I'm able to access any files, documents, and or pictures or media that I need to access from any particular device while on my local network. So we'll just go ahead and click into the Notes tab of Personal Info. And in here, we can see, for instance, TCM Practical Helpdesk.txt. I can just view the note if I just want to view it. Or of course, I can print or download these notes if I wish. I can close out of the entire notes section by closing out here, or just go back. That'll bring me back to this directory. And then of course, let's just say I want to view a different note. We can open this up, and then we'll just go ahead and close out of this one. This will bring us back to the file server homepage or local portal homepage. And then as well, we can click into our media. We'll click favorites. I'm going to click, we'll just do Office Hub. And then we can go back. We can even view videos. We'll close out of this one. And then this is set up for my business site, just so that way I have quick access to all of my content and information. So if I click into customers, I have the actual spreadsheet file, and then I have the HTML viewing file. We'll close out of here. As well, I can view all of my tickets and all the templates that I need. Close back out, back to the home page. This last section here is Systems Stats Snapshot. And the way I have this set up is on the Lenovo laptop running Ubuntu. I have a script and I have a scheduled task. And together that script runs to collect the uptime, CPU usage, memory, and disk usage. And the scheduled task applies that it runs every 3 hours. And the remainder of that script will take that data and put that data into my HTML file here. So that way, anytime I log in from any device that I need to this local portal, I can actually see a systems overview just to get like a quick look on that file server, if you will, without actually having to go over to that device. And that's pretty much the gist of this one.